Make it make sense, Jackson. You gotta make it make sense, Jackson. You got to, Jackson, Jackson. Oh, hey, good people, I see you moving. I need you proud. I need you looking. I need you smile. Walking.
Back to Make It Make Sense, Jackson. I am your host, Keanu Perry, along with my co-host.
I was hoping for an esteem, but I'm gonna take co-host Tariq Abdul-Tawwab.
We know we outgrew esteem.
We did.
We got to find better words.
I think we moved into Al Capone status at one point. I hope we're out of that. We moved into dangerous and then all type of words.
Malcolm X, Al Capone, all that.
Yeah. Malcolm one I liked. The Al I could do without, but yeah, I like the Malcolm reference.
Yep. So
day 5.
Yeah, day 5.
Yes,
sir. The ringer, the end.
Yes.
Last round. Ding, ding, ding.
Yes. It is a blessing, y'all. It's a blessing. I was I'll say that for later, but yeah, I keep impressing upon folks 5 days a week. You know, we're bringing you well thought out shows where we're going through the news. Most of the time, we're finding things last minute to bring to you, things that other people aren't bringing. We're bringing shows being taken down with important information, and it takes a lot for the young man and myself and our producer. Shout out, Mr. Wilson. It takes a lot for us to put that forward, and you meet us halfway every single time.
Yeah.
So yeah, this day 5. I think we're finishing our first month. Or moving towards the end of our first month at 5 days a week. Yep. Yeah, which is necessary. And I've got to start to our Facebook followers at KP. I made this mistake. I have to start forwarding the show because I just assume you all jump on We Believe Digital and watch. So I've got to start making sure I rebroadcast the show on our page as well, just so folks know it's on.
Oh yeah, because I'm pretty sure they probably looking for the other, because we always
absolutely
but like we always say when we start the show off, we hope that y'all have done something productive today. And if you not, try to go out and do something productive today. I don't know if you can do too many productive things in the rain, but
well, grow some. We should be cooking our own food. I mean, growing our own food, like we talk about, right? Go check your growth or what else is happening.
So yeah, and like always, after that, we like to start the show off with a moment of silence for the ones that didn't make it or couldn't be here with us no more. All right.
And it's a rainy Friday, which is and I'm just thinking about just the analogy of growth and how one man's rain is another man's growth, right? You mean think about farmers, that the right one, what's shutting something down is going to what's shutting something down. I'm going out to party or I'm going out to have a football game. We can't do any of those plans, but somewhere else there's a farmer that's extremely happy that rain has started to hit that ground again. So I think that's a good thing.
Yeah,
I think that's a good thing overall. But what's been going on? How are you feeling? What we haven't done a lot of, and we've had so much news just hit time after time after time. We used to have 2 minutes in the beginning of the show to talk about how our evening was. Do you realize that for the last month, there's been so much happening in the city, we've just had to jump in and go right to it.
Oh, yeah.
And today, don't get me wrong, I still want to slow it down and see how your evening was. But we almost, right, with that voting, the redistricting we're talking about, right, with the fact that, and I mean, it's just everywhere. Louisiana, that everything has changed now. Mississippi is just, you can see the froth dripping off of their mouth, just imagining what they're about to do. You see people talking about Benny's gone and all, and this is coming from the far right. Like immediately they're projecting that they're going to be able to just take things from us now because this has changed. And this is why the story of the ant and the grasshopper is so important, right? And if you don't remember that story, it used to get told to us a lot that the grasshopper, which one worked? The ant spent his whole time working and carrying food back to to his village so that they would have food throughout the winter or whatever they were, Aesop's fable foolishness. But the point was good. And the grasshopper just played around, right? And so right now, when we look at it, rather than panicking, as an adult, man, woman, mother, father, you don't panic. You look at how you can better secure your family, right? Yeah. And you look at what went wrong. And, when you look at our politicians and their politicians, this feeling, this Hollywood feeling of good's going to beat evil just because it's good. And people say faith without action, good without action is the same thing as bad. So then you have good feelings, but you don't do nothing to make them come about, right? You just sit there and say, well, I know that our Democratic black politicians are good, so we're going to win out against the white racism and evil. But you don't do anything to make sure your black elected officials are doing what they're supposed to be doing. You don't inspect to make sure they're telling you the truth. We don't look at any of those things. That's just as much as if we're doing evil. It's the same thing because the outcome is the same.
Yeah, I mean, even though it's desensitized, you're still been put in a situation where you're being led into straight, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you at some point you have to have God blesses it takes care of babies and fools. Yep. At a certain point, that's the whole point of humanity. I love how people say, "Wow, man, I just didn't know." Well, why don't you go be a mouse then? That's the whole point of God giving you a brain. That's not an answer. Oh man, he got me for the people say out loud, "Oh, I didn't know Horn would do that." I wouldn't say that out loud. If I'd known him since he was young. And then when you start talking to them, breaking it down, they'll tell you, yeah, he's always been that type of guy. I mean, you may want to keep that to yourself because that's where that fickle and uneducated comment comes from. Yeah. It didn't mean that you were not smart. He never thought we were not smart. I don't think he thought anyone in Jackson wasn't smart. He just thought that you thought you were his friend. Yeah. So
he's black. He got this.
Absolutely. Nah, all the older black gentlemen that we speak to, and then we don't say like that, who will tell us to our face, I've got to call Horn's wife to get to him. This is community radio, what it looks like. We tell you what other coaches and other men of his stature in your community, and they know what we're talking about, big us up, and they'll back us up. That's why no one calls in and says, you ain't talking to nobody in this community. So over and over again, older black men that have done things for this community have told us that they're unable to get through to John Horn, and even that they've got to call his wife, and I've heard that on multiple occasions, to get through to him. This is what fickle and uneducated meant. It meant you thought I was still going to be your friend after I became the mayor. No, sir. I only was your friend during them 30 years because I needed them Senate votes. And we knew that black vote is locked in with you. All I had to do was pop into D.C. just like Nick Lott. Why do you think Nick Lott thinks he can come here and be successful as a black Republican? Yeah. He watched the black Democrats, but they don't do nothing for you. They just pop into town. That's what John Horn did. And I
always say, for a bunch of people that's tired and always knowing exactly how many years a person's been in office, but for you not to have no type of consolidated mindset to figuring out what they was doing in those 8 years, but rather 30 years, 40 years, you know what I'm saying? You was there all them years and you gonna still know, you know what they did, you know what I'm saying? So, like you said, what God says, what, fools and babies?
Fools and babies.
Use a damn fool.
Shout out to my brother at the airport. I was at the airport, and I was looking at, you had to go down there. I was looking at the businessman Patel. If you're part of our family, you can connect all this together. I'm talking about he's all over the airport. Upstairs, the whole picture of business deals. Downstairs, now these deals with Surinder Singh and John Horn and Brian Grizzell going to the Indian temples and sitting with folks. Now we see who's benefiting from these relationships. Go to the airport and you'll see, just like you'll see Alcorn State with the white child on the front of it. You'll see Jackson State with the white child on the front of it. Shout out to the kicker. I bumped into the kicker with former chief. He works at the bank now. You know, the guy used to kick for JSU. He wasn't the one I saw on JSU. So when they said there's a white JSU player, most of us thought, okay, you're talking about the kicker, right? No, they put other actors on so it fit just what they wanted. I think it's a young lady playing a different sport. Alcorn. The airport is set up to tell people there's a different Jackson here. Not this predominantly black stuff you've been hearing about. Yeah. I'm talking about LaFleur East type Jackson. LaFleur East Jackson is what I'm talking about.
Like Little Europe?
Yes. Little Europe. Who calls himself Little Europe in the middle of America? At least call yourself Prime America, Make America Great Again City. Call yourself something with America in it. Little Europe. LaFleur East. Now, what am I talking about? LaFleur East, the LaFleur group, where most of our money went to. Our babies don't have any basketball hoops. No new parks popping up with people with access to it. As a matter of fact, LaFleur and the city of Jackson's MOU seems to be shutting that park on Old Canton off to us more and more. But you like the fence. I'll go. You'll be like John Horn. Those are your friends. They're just fencing it off so the other people can't see you and your eliteness. I love it. You like it. I love it. Don't come crying on TV because we're going to keep clock of it. The young man and I, we don't come crying in another month talking about, well, I don't like the way LaFleur's here. Oh, you loved it when they were putting the fence up. Yep. You felt real elite when the other regular black folks couldn't see you. That's a sick black person that enjoys sitting on the other side of a fence while the common black man's on the other side. Oh, you give me $1 trillion. I never want that seat. I keep my $1 trillion, but I'll take the seat with the common black person where I came from, where I made my whole life. These folks are over there in North Jackson with folks that don't even like you or your skin color at all. Don't even want you near them, want you near their daughters. But you sitting up there talking down on other people in Jackson. Easy. Oh, yeah, they just don't know how to handle it. So LaFleur, the reason I bring up, why I bring up LaFleur, don't think we're jumping on you, LaFleur. The reason I'm bringing up LaFleur, is because 23 or was it 28 million? 28 million of our money that they said was coming to us went to LaFleur.
Yeah.
So 13 million went to LaFleur's Bluff, the park, right? And the other, brother just called, check on him. I have my son with me, so y'all part of the day. The other 5 million went to the Children's Museum, which, ding, ding, who does the Children's Museum predominantly service right there? LaFleur. Now, I go into the airport today, and guess what pamphlets I see sitting on there? I didn't even see a City of Jackson pamphlet showing us moving through the city. I saw Keep Jackson Beautiful or one of those, but I saw LaFleur East on there, a new type of Jackson. I'm going to put it up on the website for you all to see it today because they got a little commercial floating around. I'm in the LaFleur East. I only play in LaFleur East. Nothing but white people in the entire video. They're getting cocky now. They usually got the token black person in there. He looked around. I don't think they're looking. John said they're fickle and uneducated. Run it all white. And they ran that video. You know what I'm talking about. And I saved it if you didn't. I screen recorded it. So I'll put it up for you. And you just have different pockets. So you have some white kids playing in the neighborhood. They got the streets. I only play in LaFleur East. Then you had an older white man. I'll only do business in LaFleur East. The silent part is not being said. If you're in Jackson, you only put money into LaFleur. That's right. Don't mess with those Negroes in West and South Jackson. That's not part of the real Jackson. Fondren, this or LaFleur East. Ding. This is John Horns Jackson. That's what you have. And so to a lot of our sisters that jumped on that page when I talked about JSU, I don't run from anything. And I talked about how they kicked them out of Waltham. And I said, this is the way they're being kicked out is a result of John Horn gentrification, Jackson, 100%. You think Waltham would have pushed them? Waltham would have tried to. Let me tell you something. I happen to know for a fact Waltham wanted to extend the contract with JSU. How about that? I happen to know for a fact before this huge push, Waltham wanted to continue the conversation. The contract. And now somebody from JSU reach out and tell us we're incorrect. Pop that number up there. I'm going to read it to them. 601-387-2684. If that's right, my eyes are good. Let's look at it again, y'all. That was very small. And at 50, if I'm catching that, we're in a good place. But I want someone from JSU to reach out and to tell me I'm wrong. Someone that works for the parent organization that owns Waltham. Someone reach out and tell me I'm wrong. That Waltham didn't want to continue that contract at first.
Yeah, 601-387. Well, you scroll back up.
Right? 2684. That's right.
Yeah.
601-387-2684. The eyes are still sharp, right? Call us in and give us your take on it. So I know that they wanted to continue that contract originally. John Horn brings in his entrepreneurial transition team with Surinder Singh, with Gabriel Prado. He starts building Prado Lofts. He brings in Don Gabriel gas stations. Gentrification starts sweeping through, sprinkling a little Babanasi, buying up 500,000 square feet of downtown, sprinkling the new Fondren apartments, sprinkling over there where the pizza place is, where they already had the high-rise apartments. What's the Sal and Mookie's? That little area over there. The district, thank you. Sprinkling those high-rise apartments out of there, and then throwing a good dose of HB 1020 when they took over the policing system from Jackson Police and gave it to Capitol Police, made Chief Bo Lucky the de facto police chief, and then brought in a Chief Brackney out of nowhere and have hidden her from the complete public. So now you have Chief Bo Lucky, Capitol Police, willing to, and then now, hold on, now add to the fact that you have plenty of our citizens saying there's two separate police systems. So in North Jackson, you have people being told, call Capitol on this number. Don't call 911. Then in West Jackson, parts of West Jackson off Terry Road, you have people being told, if you call Capitol, they're not going to come. You better call JPD. Mm-hmm. You're creating two different 911s because you want two different cities. And Mayor John Horn is actually sitting up there facilitating it all. So the folks in the good North Jackson, in Foots area, in Fondren, go look at Next Door. Let me tell you, if you're not jumping on Next Door just to see what people are saying, you're a fool if you're from Jackson, because they talk about you and they talk about everything that they do. So Fondren sits up there, and then the white folks out there, because there's good in everything, right? The white folks in Fondren, the good ones, will be confused. One person posted, was someone sleeping near my house, and I called Capitol, and Capitol came and got him out of there, but said they may come back. And the person was like, well, why didn't you call JPD? And then you just heard, nobody could answer it. And she got embarrassed and disappeared. I know why she didn't call JPD, because she was told under this new number, somebody like Val Vickery, a lot of the groups that push for the Republicans to influence the vote, from Jacksonians for Jackson, these type of groups, right? They told them, call this number only. Don't call. This is how you defund a police department. Because who gets the money when the police spins around? Which police department gets the money? The one with all the arrests.
Yeah.
The one that's more active. So you got JPD sitting on the highway giving out police tickets. You got them in soccer stadiums. You got them in the middle of the city watching parking lots while Capitol does the real work. This is that old, broken down Confederate, old poor South will rise again, crying ass. This is the same thing they're doing. You couldn't beat a black man, so let's go make ourselves look great by making you look little. And then when them poor white children go to school, like, Daddy, why am I not beating him and everything? And Daddy got to tell you the truth. Well, son, they're really not ignorant. I got to tell you the truth. We just told you that so you feel good. Now the son is suicidal because he don't understand why he not beating Jamal at school in grades. Jamal's supposed to be stupid by default. Well, why is he scoring as much as the Asian kids kill? Why are these black kids scoring as high as us? This is happening. Remember you heard about Tiger Mom, all that garbage? No, Tiger Mom was doing that because of Tiger Jamal. They knew there was some black kids that had been through hell and was waiting to go to school and blow you out the water. They read Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry. They read the stories about us walking 100 miles to school. We the real struggle story, and they tried to replace us everywhere. Them black kids picking cotton all day just for an hour to learn how to read, and they're going right back to the picking cotton again the whole day. We're the struggle story. And they work so hard to make you believe it's someone else. It's the farmers and y'all have done it with tractors and John Deere's and all these other things. So at this point, when we say this is John Horn Jackson, you're going to stick with it, John. You're going to hold it, and then you're going to go down in history as the man that facilitated the gentrification of Jackson. And the first mayor, you and Trump will have something in common. The first to do something that's stupid. You, the first black mayor to put your full trust into the white, far-right Republican Party in Mississippi. Had Governor Tate talking about, I think we're going to be okay the moment you got elected. You, John Horn, you got a governor that conservatives get mad at because they say he's backing Trump and this isn't that's racist. You made him feel comfortable with you being mayor. And Trump done gone into Iran. You both have done something none of your predecessors would do. No other black man trusted them this openly. Tez Henfin, my friend, he tricked me. I didn't hear anyone do that. I had not heard one black man, not even Harvey. Why do they keep tricking me? They tricked me with the Water Authority again. What happened, John? I gave him a blank check, the same blank check you gave him before. Well, that's different. I was playing with state money then. I'm playing with Jackson money now. You finding out that this bargaining chip ain't what you thought it was. That's what you found out. You found out that this bargaining chip, they don't want half of it. They don't want 35% of it. They don't want 75% of it. They want you gone as representation. Man tried to tell me a joke in the laundromat. One of the, what's the governor's name? Barbers, one of the barbers. I was in the laundromat. I may get my first season. I won't say what. I was in the laundromat, right? I said, hey, you the owner? He said, yeah. I said, you one of the barbers, huh? Yeah. I said, okay, no, because you got some laundromats in Jackson. I always want to make sure folks are treating them correctly. He's like, yeah, no, we've got a few on Ellison, da-da-da-da. And I said, yeah, some folks said that it wasn't the outside wasn't as great in terms of security. I said, but you know what? I go by and look at it. And this man tried to tell me a joke. You know that? Now, let me tell you something. This man may be 65 years old, and I know. Let me tell you something. First thing is, anyone that knows, I know pain. We know pain is black men. So we never sit up there and act like, oh, I can talk about somebody and nothing will happen to me. They've been doing it to us already. You get what I mean? You've been trying to hurt us and stop us from saying things and going down these lines. That's fine, right? But this is what I think you heard when you heard the brother Brad and other people be like, you people are so afraid of these white men sometimes, the ones that are supposed to be in power and protecting it. He said to me, do you want to hear the joke they tell about Jackson? That's what he said. He said, the joke is, do you want to know what $1 gets you in Jackson? That man will tell you the truth. If he's a man about his, he'll let you know he never got to tell the end of that joke. That man will tell you the truth. Mess with me. I said, let me tell you the joke they say about Madison. You know the joke they say about every dollar from Madison? He said, what? I said, it's from Jackson. Oh, you should have seen his face. I said, the joke don't end there. You know the joke they say about every dollar you get from Risen? He said, what do they say? I said, it's from Jackson. I couldn't believe he didn't see that one coming. He let me do a third one. I said, Flowwood. You know what they say about every dollar from Flowwood? He said, he was stuttering at this point. I said, it's $1 from Jackson. I'm cracking up, y'all. And then I said, you ain't heard about the brick store. You know what they say about Madison bricks, right? And this man said, what again? Like I was about to say something different. I wanted to say D, so I go backward. You know D? D who? I was about to hit him with that. But I said, you know what they said about the Madison bricks? I said, what? I said that they all bought by dollars from Jackson. Every time Jackson's paving money goes, your city gets paved. And the man was just shocked. He just stood there. You know what Barbara was shocked about?
What did he say with that?
Nothing. He told the woman, let's go. Back into his laundromat. Hustled off. I just finished using laundromat. Ta-ta. I took off. You know? I did it because we know what's happening, but when you say it to them, the shock on his face wasn't that this was happening.
It's the fact that you know.
That's the fact that we know. Now, who did you there? Harbor got black buddies he goes shooting with, hunting with. All these families do. Remember that man that called in our show and was so proud? That black brother was like, I used to sit on Ross Barnett's golden toilet, and he used to say, oh, these white guys would be so angry if they knew you were sitting there. And I was like, tell us the rest. How did you sabotage him? He was like, huh? I gotta go. Click. Oh, so you sat on Ross Barnett's gold toilet, and that's the story? That's what you carried with you? That's the victory?
That's the exception.
Those are the Negroes hurting us. Big up to you, brother, because it wasn't like you knew what to do, but you knew what to do when you saw that dude walking down the street that you had a problem with, though. I'm gonna go check him. Sometimes you ain't got to know what to do, just like you learn how to know what you just start swinging when you in the city and you little, and they tell you to put your head down and swing. Sometimes you got to do that, black man. I'm talking to you in power, talking to John Horns, to the Crudups, to the Gibbs, to the ones controlling us. Sometimes just put your head down and swing. It's okay, man. Your lip may get cut up a little bit, your nails may get chipped a little bit. You know, you may do another manicure, right? But you'll be okay at the end of the day. Just put your head down and swing at them. You got our ancestors that put their heads down, swings, and their heads got pulled up in a noose and up into a tree, and then that was it. You got Meg Evans walking to his driveway, getting ready to fight another day tomorrow. Bah, in his back. And you coward Negroes can't even stand up against somebody that can't even do that to you. I'm going to talk about it every day. That man walked down his driveway knowing in Mississippi if he kept that up. Like the same teacher, the white man told me, be careful, Tark. They'll still kill you in your driveway, and it'll be this is what he said, not me. He said it'll be a dirty white boy from Rankin County that'll do it. And you cowardly leaders can't even stand up and do more than abstain from a joke. What Gibbs say? I abstained. I mean, I didn't vote for it, but this is the type of leadership
Man,
you
every
got.
time you bring that dude's name up, man, I swear to God, that whole situation when he said I didn't vote for it because there was too many people voting against it. Like
he said I didn't vote for it because there was too many people voting against it.
You know he got a cat and nine tails around that motherfucker somewhere.
You're a joke. Your power is your vote. You gave your power over, and you're being treated as a joke, as a game. Yeah, I mean, it should bother, and it's not. We don't stoke these things for the point of stoking them. We talk about them for the point of you understanding when you're being played with. And then before we merge into the water, let's touch one more time on our city council, because they're our hope. They still could reject the lease through all this time. You ever been somewhere and somebody don't really want to fight? And they trying to, man, hold on, man, take my shoes, man. Mom, let me tighten my shirt up, man. Go around the corner, make sure the teacher ain't coming. Hey, go up on the roof with some binoculars, make sure the police ain't coming in helicopter. Why would the police be coming to break up this little fight behind the school? Man, hold on, not yet, man. Hold on, let me stretch, man. Hold on, man. Find out who his people are before we go. Man, next thing you know, the sun's setting, man. Hold on, man. Make sure 5 of them is on that side, 5's on this side. That's what our city council's doing. Negroes, just reject the lease. Hold on a second. Call Judge Wingate. See what he thinks about it. And then next thing, call Nas and see what he thinks about it. And next thing, I'll call Lil Wayne. See what he thinks about it. That's what they're going to do next. Call Lil Wayne, see if he likes it.
Call David Banner.
Call David Banner, see if he likes it. Did anyone bother them? Call it. What do you? I mean, David Banner would give a better response than this. I promise you. And I don't even know the dude. I bet you we get a better response to Banner than this whole city council. From the way I heard him getting bothered with it, and everyone have their opinions. I don't have any. I'm in the middle. I'm just a bit. But he probably would talk more about what's really happening in this city than this city council is doing. So they're going everywhere except rejecting the lease. And why? Because they found out that we told you and you know.
They didn't even show up for the hearing.
Did you? So the people said they didn't even show up for the hearing.
And May 1st is the deadline today, but he already rejected. I mean, he already did the injunction, but still, this is a bigger beef broom. You know, this is always the curtain being shut over the house. You know what I'm saying? Now it's time to see what's going on inside your crib, cuz. You know what I'm saying?
And how many of you right here on We Believe Digital Network audience, you know, Mr. Socrates is a businessman. He's a proud man. Shout out to him. A lot of you all look to the left when this talk started happening. You didn't want to be nowhere near anything that talked truth. How many times we broke down to people, oh, we don't talk about people's personal lives. We call them names based on what their actions are. We don't talk about what they did, their mistakes, none of that. We talk about the policies and decisions they make that affect you. Why would anybody not want you to know about that? Why would anybody not want you to know about that, right? But your city council didn't even tell you the judge was having a hearing yesterday. Vernon Hartley, Councilman Hartley, and big up to people calling into his show. People are starting to light you all up, and I love it. And accountability is what I love. Not messiness, not chaos. But the person called and said, Vernon, why do you flip-flop so much? I love it, because when y'all say it, I can repeat it, and then we can talk about it even more. Vernon, why do you flip? He called him a pancake, like a pancake. For that, and I would make y'all gonna think I'm playing. I was making pancakes. I was making pancakes for my kids at the time. It was like 9:30. I was like, whoa, flip. I get it. It's all messed up in the middle. You just keep flipping it until you get something solid.
Did he ever put that show back up?
He said he was gonna put that show back up.
How long ago was that?
Ward 5. The city of Jackson, DeKeitha Stamps, the Public Service Commissioner. You thought them letters were going to handle this. Them letters don't help. DeKeitha Stamps went on Vernon Hartley's show and said, Hartley City Council, the only one that can file a rate case right now, since you all are under a federal takeover, is your city attorney. The only ones that can direct them are the city, the people, the city council on behalf of. So Vernon immediately, I was listening to the show at the time, seemed disinterested. Oh, I don't know about that. That's the lawyer. No, you have to tell the lawyer to keep it clarified. No, the lawyer just can't do it on his own. You do know that. That's like somebody saying, why is the lawyer down there not defending me and offering a deal? Did you hire him? Not yet. That's not the point. Why isn't he doing it? So you got to tell the lawyer to go do something, right? Or you hire the lawyer. Have you asked for a deal yet? No, I didn't ask for a deal. You didn't tell me you wanted one. So Vernon comes on and says, okay, DeKeitha tells him that. He says, well, that's the lawyer's thing. DeKeitha says, no, tell him. Tell your lawyer to do that. Tell the rest of your city council people. The city council watched the show. He took the show down. That was your first. And that's why he sent them certified letters to DeKeitha Stamps, CYA. My 5-year-old does better than that in terms of covering herself. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion, right? So first you ignored DeKeitha and us for, 3 weeks? We scream at the top of our lungs. Rate case. DeKeitha said it. He knows the most about this, the Public Service Commission. Not just that, but you know what DeKeitha told him? If you filed a rate case, Vernon, you know what DeKeitha told the whole city council? Guess who it comes to? Me. Your own Jackson son. Who else would you want a fair chance for that rate case to come to? That means DeKeitha de facto becomes the judge over that rate case. KP.
And the last rate case that was done in Jackson.
Canton. Oh, no. What
Jackson was 1978. 78.
And he tells that to a black public service. So now let's talk about this vote. What's the purpose of having a black public service commissioner? Tell me, what's the purpose of having these black people in office? Jackson got a black council, 80%. What's the purpose of it? If you get a black finally get a black person in that position, and then he gives the black, how do y'all allow DeKeitha Stamps to get into a position like that they don't want us in, and another black man to ignore him like that? How is that okay? So when your water's gone, when everything gets messed up, well, you didn't even listen to the Public Service Commissioner. He told you the way to start saving your water is run this rate case, slow everything down, get everything Jackson Water's done in front of you on transparency. Judge Wingate, John Horn, why do you all not want everything Jackson Water has done to be laid out? Judge Henry Wingate and Mayor John Horn, why did DeKeitha Stamps tell you all, because I know you heard it too, so DeKeitha, the black public service commissioner in Mississippi, said, do this rate case to try to stop this takeover. How dare you all not listen?
It's because of that money.
What's going on? You're going to have to answer that to us. That's not on us. That's on you to answer why you're doing that. Because we can't understand why you call us racist when we try to get transparency. We can understand why you continue to not tell the city council to reject the lease.
Yeah.
We can't understand why you have a city attorney telling you you can't reject the lease, telling you what to do. But on the second half of this break, we're going to tell you a lot more about why you need to make it make sense, Jackson, because the one thing we know is it's affecting you negatively. We'll be right back on the second half of this break. Make it make sense.
The Mississippi Link is an African-American female-owned newspaper with a trusted voice that is highly respected throughout the city, state, and nation. Our motto, keepers of the knowledge for people who speak the truth, since 1993. Link significantly influences the thoughts, attitudes, and buying decisions of its readers. Call us at 601-368-8481 for your advertising needs. If you would like to receive a newspaper in the mail each week, our annual subscription is only $52 per year. That is only $1 per week for you to stay informed regarding many stories that you can only get in the Mississippi Link. Sign up today at themississippiLink.com and click on Home Delivery.
SocratesGarrettENT.com is a diversified firm specializing in recycled aggregates and crushed concrete. SocratesGarrettENT.com's recycled materials provide the construction industry with significant economic and environmental benefits by recycling clean concrete rubble into MDOT grade rock materials. Recycled aggregates and crushed concrete can be applied to driveways, road construction, bank protection, parking lots, general bulk fills, and more. By using SocratesGarrettENT.com's crushed concrete products, anyone from homeowners to general contractors can help reduce landfilled concrete waste, conserve natural resources, and gain significant economic savings on materials and disposal costs. For more information, please call 601-896-0084 or visit us online at SocratesGarrettENT.com.
And I'm your host, Tariq Abdul-Tawwab, along with my esteemed co-host,
Keona Perry.
And then on the first half of that of the show, we went deep into just where we're standing right now. I want to start the second half of the show by talking about the victory that came from us as a community. One thing that I'm dedicated to is seeing a plan through and seeing a course through. And I'm going to say this slowly, and I'm going to let the young man add in on this as well, because he's been there from day one. Shout out to our producers, been there since day one. So when we started this, I remember sitting in Pearl redistricting when they were redistricting the final steps. Now, let me back up. I remember being at the Cedars, which is an upscale little clubhouse right outside, past Meadowbrook, which a lot of the elite, mostly white, but just to be honest, business owners / residents of Jackson were meeting with Vernon Hartley and Ashby Foote, along with some other folks from the city. And it was at that time, and they went to a few different places together. I understood that Foote was pushing for something completely different as a Republican in North Jackson than Hartley's ward or the rest of the city wanted, right? So I started showing up to the meeting. My producer as well, the young man, we started showing up to the meetings, right? We've been together a lot longer than this show, right? And as I sat there in the meeting, I looked at Hartley and I heard him look at that crowd of mostly white people and say, the only ones you can trust on this city council are myself, and Ashby Foote, and Kenneth Stokes. So if you ever wonder why I'm not going to let anything go until I know you understand and you're informed, it's because I sat in there and I heard them talk to those people in North Jackson and tell them the three of us have a plan that's going to bring back the Jackson you want. And each of them since then have done something either just purely racist, Ashby Foote, or detrimental, Hartley, or just purely demonically, chaotically, something that just breaks the whole city down, Kenneth Stokes. Each of them have been involved in necessary components for this city to have failed from the last administration to this one. Ashby Foote consistently pushed against anything that the majority of the Black city wants. And Ashby Foote went as far as to use racial wording against Chief Brackney to imply that a punk $150,000 to a chief that just came out of one of the most spotlighted positions, just finished suing the state of Virginia for $10 million after holding such a high profile position when white extremists rode into a crowd in Charlottesville, Virginia and killed people. Not only was the chief of police there, but the major Black police group throughout the United States put her in front of the Senate to speak for them as their spokesperson. $150,000 is not a lot of money to somebody coming with that background. Not in Mississippi, not in DC. But Ashby Foote said, but she's overqualified and too charming to make that money. So what you can't do is say that, but what you definitely want to do is say that and be a West Point graduate and have the name Foote, which is connected to too many plantations in this state to mention. That's what you can't do. But talk what you want, maybe if it's a different setup, but you're not going to have that setup, Foote. You're not going to be a Confederate sympathizer every year, which you are. You're not going to put yourself next to all types of governors that were openly racist and caused the deaths of our people. Basically implied from a Barnett, Trent Lott, implied we should kill these you-know-whats, right? And then think that you're going to show up at a People's Assembly and we're not going to call you out for being a racist white council member. Kenneth Stokes has sat there since the Comcast investigations when folks in the city and the city council accused of bribing Comcast. And the story is he was in a car on the highway pissing his pants when he got pulled over. Since that time, he's just caused chaos in the city. Everyone's a dope dealer from that time. Everyone's been a dope dealer since Kenneth Stokes was in a car and pissed his pants because the feds pulled him over and said, y'all doing bribes? And ever since then, everybody been a dope fiend. Let me tell you something. I've been locked up before when I was a young man. You ever known them people to walk around the jail? Man, what you in here for, man? Hey, what you in here for, man? What you in here? They call them jailhouse informants. They make a career after finding what you did and using that to get away from what they did. Make it make sense.
As you said, make a career of getting away with what you did.
About finding something about you and using that. Hey, look what he's doing, though. Don't worry about what I just did. Look what he's doing. And shifting and shifting and shifting. So I think that I merged that into this. Having said that, talk about the meeting. Waste management. I'm going to put it right in front of you because some of y'all want to get away from it, right? Some of y'all, the young man said he didn't like Gibbs and what Gibbs said. Let's talk about Gibbs Sr. Let's go back to waste management. Let's talk about Kenny Stokes. Let's talk about Richard's Disposal. A black small business in New Orleans, right? Run by a black man, a black woman. A man used to do robotics. So he's one of the first black crews that worked on them little cars that they put on the moon. Us old people remember that, right? He was one of them. He did that first. Then he went into because when you understand suspension, technology, all of those things, you understand the trash industry. And then he went into the trash industry. Does scholarships for black kids 2 a year. Nothing big, but he's definitely not building jails. Let's talk about who Stokes wanted, who Hartley wanted, who Grizel tiptoed around. We can go with this or we can go with that. What you got for me? We can go with this or with Banks. What you got? We can go for this or we can. Banks is taking money from both political parties. That was in a rap song. When the rappers know that this is what the council's up there doing, right? Then you have a problem. And this is the setup that you walked into. So Gibbs, we find out later, it has trucks or is leasing trucks through Waste Management, making a lot of money. Now we understand why some folks from the city council want to keep it. Stokes, why don't you remember, you should drop the trash off at the mayor's house. Stokes, why don't you explain to the people of Jackson why you would want Waste Management? Gibbs, explain to us Waste Management, because I'll tell you who owns them. BlackRock and Vanguard. Between them, they spend about $120 trillion in building private prisons for both people of color, and they lobby for those laws to change, and ICE facilities. They're slave raiders. And that's who Kenneth Stokes. And that's what I want the United States to see, KP. When I yell out to the United States, and I saw a sister at the airport, and I missed one, and I found some other ones. She was like, I'm from Mississippi. But that's what I want you all to understand. They're not down here protecting the people. They're down here hurting the people for their own personal gain. So Waste Management, if you all heard about the trash debacle in Jackson, they wanted to make you think those black folk in Jackson don't know how to govern. No, sir. You had prison builders in Vanguard and BlackRock that owned the majority stakes of Waste Management against a black company run by a former black engineer called Richard's Disposal. And you know the rumors that people started talking about to try to, we think the mayor, does he have a daughter? We called him, I don't have a daughter. I heard the mayor was sleeping with his daughter. Oh, well, he doesn't have a daughter? Maybe it's his granddaughter. He doesn't have a granddaughter either. That person with the rumor just disappeared, took everything offline. Those rumors were enough. And Waste Management was just sitting back there. What other rumor can we start? Stokes, you got anything better? So you telling me, Stokes, all you have to do to get us this money is stick your tongue out at the mayor and call him a dope fiend? And we got a chance? This is what Waste Management's thinking. This is the black radical city. Waste Management's thinking we lost out. Stokes told him, no. Gibbs told him, no. We can do this another way. We can say that the mayor is not able to get places like Farris Street going. But Gibbs, you got that tied up in a lawsuit. Won't people know that he can't develop it if it's in a lawsuit? No, they fickle and uneducated. Remember what John said? Mayor, Lumumba cannot. Why won't Lumumba update Farris Street? Y'all don't remember that? Over and over again? Why, Lumumba? Farris Street is up. Why? Nobody once said, but Gibbs, y'all got to. I mean, I'm not saying you controlling the Gibbs, but you don't think that lawsuit you got going on with the white man that stole from us, that don't have nothing to do with it? You don't want to tell them? Gibbs, you don't want to tell them you rent trucks, so lease trucks through Waste Management so that people at least understand why you want it? Oh, no. Oh, they think the mayor's incompetent. Then what they say, the mayor can't even get a trash thing. Then what happened next? The mayor can't get Thalia open. Former deputy director here telling you that they had folks inside the city calling the fire marshal saying, can you please come find some reason not to open it? They did it in front of me. I called the whole shindig. They told him that the water fountain, call cease and desist. I'm talking about city business. I want this cease and desist so I can go ahead and sue you in court. And when you do cease and desist, now the records come out about what you really did. So they had that fountain, and they told me as deputy director, Thalia can't open. After I said all those are beat, I got a list of things like move the crates out of the hallway. Move these over. You telling me that Thalia's not opening because some crates are on the right side? We got some ceiling tabs down at the bottom in the far left. It's got a hole in it. Wait, what? You're talking about the ceiling tab got a hole in it, and that's what's holding it up? So you put all these things on the list. My team, and big up to the groupers, Federico, and all those good workers. Rederico, they know who I'm talking to. I put the eco on the end. But they went and they got it all done. Oh, it's the fire curtain. I asked a few questions. Everyone's quiet. I said, you telling me there's no way? Brave brother that works for the city. Man, that's not true, Tarek, man. You can do what's called a drop. That you just have to have the, the fire department sitting outside during the show. That's what all of Thalia's shows are doing now. They weren't going to let that open under the previous mayor. So then I'm like, okay, we scratched through those. Well, it's the elevator. Well, do you have to let people go in it? Well, we can get that fixed. Okay, cool. Well, what else is stopping it? Well, we got to get the fountain and the lights going. Remember I told y'all yesterday? I said, well, show me how it's not working. First, they didn't want to take me to it. Well, it's not something you'd understand. I said, young man, I'm deputy director. Don't tell me what I wouldn't understand. Take me to what I'm telling you to take me to. I'm not used to that type of energy. Took me to the room. Well, what you have to understand? I said, I don't need you to talk anymore. Show me what's not working. Well, I mean, it doesn't work. So what I want you to do is try to turn it on and let me see what happens. And I told you yesterday, turns it on, the water starts shooting up. The water works. So the water's not stopping it from opening. So guess what happened at that point, y'all? Nothing was stopping it from opening. Here we go for opening. I said, man, you can announce it. It's good. Someone working for the city calls the fire marshal. And the first woman fire marshal over the state of Mississippi comes to Little Old Jackson to check out Thalia.
And guess what? Now that you speak about the fire station, did you know that in recent news that the Jackson Fire Department's rating has changed from a 3 to a 4?
That's that insurance the chief was talking about.
Yep. On a 10-point scale following a recent evaluation by the Mississippi State Rating Bureau, a shift that compacts insurance rates
You
for
heard
homeowners and business.
Owens come on. Read that again about the drop. I love it.
Following a recent evaluation by the Mississippi State Rating Bureau, a shift that can impact insurance rates for homeowners and businesses.
So we're going to cut the clip and put it back up. Check us out between today and tomorrow. But Chief Owens came on this show and said, I told Mayor Horn not to put that man, Rashawn, the captain, as the don't put. I told him if you put anybody but Lieutenant Chief, what's the name? Lieutenant Chief.
Patricia.
Brother, we got a lot of names.
Armour. I know his last name. Armour.
Patrick Armour. I'm blaming it on our head, not our heart. Patrick Armour. Former Chief Willie Owens said, I told Mayor Horn, if you don't either get a new chief from someone that knows it or Lieutenant Chief, because he felt as chief, this city's going to be in trouble. What happens? The current chief, Rashawn, what's the last name?
Man,
I know. Rashawn, the current chief, Rashawn, and local 1807, if I'm correct, the long-term local that used to be so racist, black local members knew they weren't going to get the same help white members got. That's the response I got when I asked all these people about that local. First, they break away from the main fire department and they back Horn. Let's talk about how it happened. This is what your people, your mother, your children, their lives are worth. So they back Horn, the local, and Rashawn, a captain with 2 to 3 people under him. Right? Chief Willie Owens tells John Horn, Rashawn Thomas, thank you. John, he called him on the phone. Willie said he called him at home. What do you think I should do? This is someone that doesn't respect your life, doesn't like black people. What do you think I should do? You should put the lieutenant chief over there, or we're gonna be in trouble, chief. Okay, John, this is what he told Chief Willie. Didn't he say this? If I do something different or go a different way, I'll let you know. Click. Next thing, Chief Willie, former Chief Willie, don't know he hears Rashawn.
I ain't call that nigga back.
Yeah, he ain't called a nigga. Click. And that, now, mind you, when he looks up, not his assistant chief, not his district chief, not his fire chief, and there's one more chief. That's not who he's picked. He's gone down to his. That's the equivalent of making the man washing the windows on the front of McDonald's the full owner and runner of that McDonald's with a snap of a finger. Man has never sat in a corporate meeting, doesn't know what one metric looks like, doesn't know how to order one resource, and now that window washer is running the company. So that's Rashawn was the window washer or the captain. They moved up 4 levels to be the chief. He said, "What that's going to happen." The next thing, the big fire truck burn, 1.4, 1.8 million. Chief came on. Willie came on and said that fire truck was too close. A lot of this was wrong. That's experience. That's going to shoot our insurance rate up when this keeps happening.
Yep.
He also told us at that time that the fire department was reporting that Chief Rashawn Thomas was closing down certain fire stations when people were not coming in rather than pay overtime. What that means is each fire station is set to respond to every house in its area within 6 minutes. When you shut that fire station down, and we talked about the former mayor Tony Yarber's mother's house that burned.
Takes longer.
Yes, we talk about the house in Georgetown built by Funches that burned down because there was no water in the hydrant and because of the response time. Now, the former chief tells the mayor, "We're in trouble if you don't do this." Now we lose $1.4 million truck. We almost lose a life. And we got two other trucks burned savagely with it. The chief comes on our show after that and says, "Your insurance rating is about to drop. We're about to be in trouble, and it's because you don't have expertise, you don't have talent." No one listens.
10-point scale, we up to a 4 now.
Guys, we up to a 4. And your chief said it. And I love this network because you have black men on this network watching it. No community. They go messing and tell them the only reason we can't leave is because some of these free land Negroes and some of these young people out here. That's why y'all telling them you can shoot church mice when the information is right there and not make us the best that we can be.
Make that make sense.
Make that make sense.
They also said they tried to say, well, it wasn't because of the 1.4 million fire truck that caused the rate to go up. What the hell
You
was
move it? Let me tell you what it is.
What
You
the
move
hell was it?
You move a dishwasher. Big up to the dishwasher. You move a dishwasher to owner, man. What you think will happen to your fry sales? What you think will happen to you?
Are they gonna say that though?
No, they're not gonna say that. They should, but we'll say it. And it's no disrespect to Rashawn Thomas. You were at the position of a window washer if we use the McDonald complex, and they moved you to running the whole thing, and you took it like any other American would take it, because that's what America's based on. You know, pretend you know how to do it and get somebody hired that does.
New at 6, Governor Tate Reeves criticizes the city of Jackson for challenging the Metro Jackson Water Authority.
I'm sorry, that was a wonderful clip. No, you're good. You're good. See, I told you he's talented back there. He brings in things right when they need to be said. And it merges to Governor Tate pausing, right? Governor Tate said he's going to hold off on his selection for the Water Authority, but this links more than you know. He's going to hold off his selection until Judge Wingate does what he needs to do. The reason we're talking about John Horn and Griselle and all of these members is because at a certain point, they're working the way Governor Tate Reeves and the far-right Republicans want them to work, and that's why we call them plantation Democrats. Why in the name of God is Tate Reeves going along with Judge Wingate going along with John Horn? How's this going to end up well for us?
At 6, Governor Tate Reeves criticizes the city of Jackson for challenging the Metro Jackson Water Authority.
Yeah, it comes the day after a federal judge temporarily blocked it from going into effect. Now, he signed the legislature's bill into law, and Reeves says he believed the federal court will find the city's procedurally improper legal challenges under both the Takings Clause and the Supremacy Clause to be meritless. He also called it a frivolous court filing. The governor says he will not make his appointments to the authority board at this time while the legal challenge continues. The governor also noted the state of emergency he declared after the Jackson water crisis in August of 2022. He said, in part, the people of Jackson and the ratepayers of the system deserve better than having to ever go through that mess again. The authority created under House Bill 1677 is the best way to ensure future chaos is avoided. You can read the full statement in the story on WLBT.com.
And see, this I have a problem with it. D, I just sent you an article. If you can look at it and pull it up. But I sent it to him. But that I have a problem with, y'all, and more than you know, because I don't think folks understand. Let's go back to that fire for a second, right?
Read it again.
But there's another one that just popped up that in WLBT now, and this is I have a real problem with, because the actual the title on WLBT is a lack of staffing and inadequate records are two factors contributing to a recent worsening of Jackson's fire rating. So this is when you run a city down intentionally. And at a point, sometimes you pause because it starts to hit you too. Stuff can flow smoothly, right? But when you're sitting here with a former fire chief like KP and I did, for 2 months we've been talking to him, and to hear him say the safety of our city is starting to be compromised. Yep. And to now watch Chief Rashawn come in there, and really I'm going to adjust what I said. Don't take a job you can't do. I'm going to adjust everything I've said, because I've talked about, this is people's lives here. Yeah, if you take me from the I'm washing windows at McDonald's to being a regional manager, I am going to take it. Food's not going to kill anybody. But if I'm asking you to be the chief of a fire department, the point I realized that I can't do what's necessary to keep this majority black city safe, it's time for me to step down and ask for help. And so now our fire rating is plummeting, and Mayor Horn is the one making it plummet. I want you all to look at anybody that stands up when we say everything is falling on Mayor Horn. I want you to start thinking about whether or not it's really his fault. Because Mayor Horn called former Chief Willie Owens, and he said to him,
Who should he pick?
Who should I pick? This is diabolical.
What the fuck was the point of you calling him then, nigga?
This is diabolical. Why did you call him? Were you? Woo! I'm gonna stick to who we are in our soul. We don't insult. We don't use no part of your life.
I'm sorry, but that
what were you doing during that time? You were sitting on the phone. Ha ha ha. Let me call him, make him think. Did you think that would cover you later? So you call Chief and say, Chief, who should I pick to keep these people safe? It's almost like I was asking, so you do the opposite.
Yeah, it's like
AKP, what color? Red? I'm taking blue.
There you go. Like when your wife asks you which dress.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
You
know too much about that. Yeah. Yeah. Your wife asks you, how does this look? I think it looks wonderful.
I like that.
Perfect. I'm going to put on the pink one. The insult that just sits there, you better not say nothing. You just help. You better just help, accept that you're helpful. But John, you're playing a different game here, Johnny boy. This is why we call you Curious John. And this is why we say things like downtown Jackson partner Jeff Good is the man in the yellow hat. Liz Brister is his sister. So now it's a man in a yellow hat, his sister Liz Brister, and then you got Gabriel Prado over there looking like he picking coffee beans in his picture. And that's how he came running up on me. You get what you do. You came running up on me in some slides. What are you on? And that's how I'm going to picture you from now on, okay? I came to find out why these black contractors can't get no business in your new development, why they ain't got no ends in your casa. You felt so comfortable in slides throwing coffee beans at people that you ran up on us, right? But these are the people that are set up and are actively in there taking it. You got Stokes shaking his booty at the festival. You got Horn dressed up like a leprechaun. You got Grizel at Indian temples. I don't know where Tina or where at least they were smart enough not to be seen. Let me just put it that way. You got Parkinson shaking hands and smiling. Negroes never unhappy, just shaking hands, smiling, because Fondren's doing excellent. So we can afford to speak up for other people once in a while. And you got Foot falling asleep and insulting black woman. There you have it. It's up to us, guys. Because that Brady Bunch right there is not going to do it. John Horn is the father, and Tate is the mother. And this is how you became the Brady Bunch. That's the 7 council members. The Brady Bunch, from Tina to Grizel, all of you all, the ones I used to like because you abstained a little bit, all of you.
What's that one show with the dude? He was like, "What you talking about, Willis?"
What you talking about, Willis? That right there is old Joel, his chief of staff. That's what was it? Different Strokes, was it?
Probably Different Strokes.
Yeah, Different Strokes. Yeah, what you talking about, Willis?
What you talking about, Willis?
That's what John. That's John Horn sometimes though. That's John Horn. Hennepin, I'm not giving John no money. What you talking about, Willis? You said you was giving me some money. God, he got me again, man. He got me again. Next thing is the Water Authority. We gonna have the majority. Do y'all notice that we be funny, but I'm putting real stuff to this. We gonna have the majority, and remember that $200 million? They told me they're going to take that too. They told me that. Where did they put it on paper? It was a gentleman's handshake. That's what's wrong with you all. Next thing you know, what you talking about, Willis? You ain't gonna give me I don't have a seat no more. And they only have 3 seats. You taking that too? What about the $200 million? Oh, that's gone too. How am I going to tell these people? Well, John, you said they was fickle and uneducated. Figure it out. That's what they told him. Figure it out. We believe you. They are fickle. Look at what we're getting to do to them.
You should be satisfied with the crumbs that you are getting.
Then that call come in. John, we got a problem. What's that? Turn your radio on. 90.1. I know you left the station once you became mayor, but you still remember how to get there, right? Turn to 90.1. Who are these Negroes? What did they talk? How did they know this, John? Did you tell them? Did you tell them this? How do they know you were on the HUD chair and you should have done better at Blossom? This isn't looking good, Johnny. You better get them to shut up, because if it links back to us, buddy.
Campaign donations by Chip Triplett. How do they know that?
Chip Triplett donated to John Horn as a senator. Why didn't you call old Chip and ask him to give them a few more days at Blossom? Chip Triplett? Because you build slums, Chapel Ridge, all these are built park companies. I'm sorry. Chip Triplett Park Companies. That's why we don't get cease and desist, in case you want to know. Chip Triplett, right there on Park Companies. Scroll down to the bottom. Nice, clean head, just like me. Scroll down to the bottom. You see old Chip right there. I kept screenshots, guys, so don't try to change the website, right? Right down at the bottom is old Chip Triplett. He's over all of these divisions. Now, you look over all these properties they're over, park properties. You be like, oh, Hazelhurst, he was shooting out there like they were shooting Greenville. They were shooting it. Wow, Chip. They sure like to shoot on your properties. Let me see who you donated to. John Horn. Now, hold on a second. That's why he doesn't care about them Negroes at Blossom Apartments. Look right there. You see that drop. You see that rating drop, and you see what's happening. And I'm showing you, look at that post on there. There's an article it links to. Right there. Staffing, record keeping. Now, what did the former Chief Willie? Go look at this article. God damn, who has to say it for you to listen? For you to repeat it in public? You Caesars, you know what's. You Caesars whores. You're just gonna stay quiet until you waiting for Caesar to get chopped down. Let me just tell you something. By the time Caesar gets chopped, everything's up in the air at that point. You ain't gonna get nothing. You on the other side, stay there. Now you gonna have to move to Madison and hope they open up projects there, because you're not gonna be welcome here.
When did the waiting start though? My question is like when did black people waiting for some good to happen start in this situation? You get what I'm trying to say?
About 1966.
Oh shit.
1964, 65, 66. That Voting Rights Act, they're trying to take everything from us right now, the Civil Rights Acts, right? When they brought in the Immigration Act of 64, when they let black people be senators again, they realized the third time around, the first time was Reconstruction. So you telling me we can take a nigger and we can make him a politician, make him sign the Constitution, and the rest of the world thinks we've changed? Well, come on. They had the black man, gave him a store, took him from being a slave to gave him a store, made him a politician. One black man signed the Mississippi Constitution, which, by the way, looks a lot like the big, beautiful bill that Trump came out with. That black man signed that in the World Fair.
Comes on the heels of
America's changing, right? America's changing. And then they proceeded to open the door so both the North and the South could rape black people for the next 40, 50, 70, 80 years. Then they pretended they were giving black people rights. Now you can vote. Now you got all these people sitting up there. And then they told those black politicians, and you think about it, Dr. King and my grandfather Dr. King sat in his living room at times as my grandfather helped him formulate ideas. Dr. King was a member by all means of the Boule as we understand it. Malcolm X wasn't.
Well, he tried to get out there.
The reason Dr. King died is because he decided to be a black man and a humanitarian and care about stuff like the Vietnam War, which the Boule was told him, sir, that's not your job. There's so many documentaries talking about it. It's common sense. Sir, we are the Boule. We handle you. Remember what we told you, Jackson? You getting handled. The black Boule.
He tried to break it at the end, the Boule.
Yeah. I'm going to handle you. Dr. King talked about Vietnam and white sanitation workers in New Jersey. The black Boule is like, we didn't promise no white Reagans that we would talk about that. But what are you doing? We told our white handlers that we would keep our people talking about black power and shooting guns, something that they could never get to. We told them we'd be okay with that. We never said this part. The black Boule said we're not part of that. So Dr. King had to go. Malcolm X, as soon as he decided I'm gonna go overseas, Farrakhan gets awards that I watched this documentary, I don't speak about it till I match it. My father came in the Nation of Islam. Farrakhan gets the same awards the other Boule members get. They all call them to the same place. This is what we want you to tell them Negroes. Warith Muhammad didn't go to them things. Malcolm X didn't go to them things. The Reverend's right here in Mississippi, Reverend Means, I bet you he didn't go to them things. Shout out 90.1. I bet you he didn't go to them things. They put the people in front of you they want to have in front of you, and all the power brokers, they shut down like they're nothing. And so we're going to end this with that fire story. Your chief, Willie Owens, came on and told you, you are a coward. And I'm talking to my brothers here. You are a coward. If you got women in the house, and this is different. With Gibbs and Crudup and Horn, their wives just don't want them to come into the bedroom. They just got to sleep on the back porch. You can't even look your children in the face. And I'm talking about the citizens now. You done worked your whole life to build that house up, and you know the fire department ain't keeping you protected. And you gonna shut your mouth because I don't want to seem like I'm on the wrong side. Chief Willie Horn came on here and told you you're not safe anymore. What does it take? So first the fire truck burns, 2 more burn. Then we lost the person. Now, just saying we lost the person. Now you got the news. Then Chief Willie came on and said they're cutting overtime, they're closing down fire stations, and they're making it unsafe. You didn't listen to him. Former Chief Willie said next it's going to affect our insurance waiting. You didn't listen to him. Now we've dropped to a 4 and we're moving. Make it make sense. We're going to wrap this up and we're going to land this plane. But jump on our page, Make It Make Sense, Jackson, JXN, and we're going to continue to go down this page. Yeah. If you let Vernon Hartley become Martin Luther King Jr., then Jackson, you've got a problem. If you let John Horn move off that base, you've got a problem. No.
I was going to say, I can't remember the last time the rating jumped to a 4.
It hasn't from the chief, and I'm going to verify that. But we talked to the former chief, and that's
I'm 28. I don't know.
As a chief and plummeted to what? Plummet our insurance rating to what?
A 4.
To a 4. Make that make sense, Jackson. I'm going to leave you with that hostility because hostility used in the right way will turn to productivity. We'll see you Monday, 90.1, 4 o'clock p.m. Until then, continue to make it make sense, Jackson. For my co-host, myself, Talking Dutois, we love you, Jackson. We're out. That was